Have you ever had that thought, that you want to have it both ways? Like, you want a little bit of heaven, but you're not quite ready to give up some of your favorite habits or grudges. Well, in his incredible fantasy, The Great Divorce, C.S. Lewis takes that idea and runs with it. He imagines a bus trip from a dreary, gray town all the way to the foothills of heaven. And it's a journey that forces everyone on board, and us too, to face a pretty stark, absolute choice. Okay, let's start with this single line from the book's preface, because honestly, it's the key to the whole thing. And no, Lewis isn't talking about your carry-on. He's talking about the other kind of baggage. The grudges, the pride, the little miseries we secretly cherish and refuse to let go of. This entire story is about what happens when you're finally told you can come in, but you gotta leave that luggage behind. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with Lewis's main argument. Then we'll take a tour of his very unique visions of hell and heaven. After that, we'll look at the choices the characters make, get to the bottom of the logic behind it all, and then finish up with a final twist that seriously changes everything. All right, so why did Lewis even write this book? Well, he was basically picking a fight. He was pushing back against this idea, which was popular then and is still popular now, that you can kind of blend good and evil. That evil isn't really a big deal. Maybe it's just a necessary step on the way to good. And for Lewis, that idea wasn't just wrong, it was a catastrophic mistake. Think about it like a math problem. Lewis's point is, if you get a sum wrong on the second line of your calculation, you can't just keep going and hope it magically corrects itself by line 10. The whole thing is compromised. You have to go back, find the mistake, erase it, and start again from there. That's what he's saying about evil. It can't be developed into good. It has to be undone. It's always an either-or. You can't have both. So let's see how that core idea plays out in the actual story. The whole journey kicks off in a place Lewis calls the Gray Town. And let me tell you, when you think of hell, this is probably not what you're picturing. Yeah, forget the fire and pitchforks. Just imagine a permanently gray, drizzly, endless city that looks like the most depressing suburb you've ever seen. And the reason it's endless? Because the people who live there are so argumentative that anytime they have a fight with a neighbor, one of them just uses their imagination to create a new house miles and miles away. Let that go on for a few eons, and you get a city spread out over astronomical distances of pure, self-imposed loneliness. And this really shows you the mindset of the place. We get this image of Napoleon, pacing alone in a self-made mansion, millions of miles from anyone, just trapped in this endless loop of blaming everyone else for his problems. For Lewis, hell isn't a punishment that's inflicted on you. It's the prison you build for yourself, one resentful brick at a time. But then, out of this dreary town, a golden bus shows up. It's offering an excursion, and the destination is a world that is so vibrant, so overwhelmingly real, that by comparison, all the visitors from the gray town are nothing more than ghosts. And this is where the physical reality of their choice becomes so clear. The visitors from the gray town are literally transparent, like smudges. But this new country is, well, it's solid. It's real. So real that the blades of grass feel as sharp as diamonds under their ghostly feet. A simple daisy is so heavy and dense with reality that they can't even pick it up. They are fundamentally less real than the world they've just entered. Now, the inhabitants of this solid country, they come down to meet the ghosts, and they have an invitation. Stay. You can become solid like us. All they have to do is let go of that luggage we talked about. And you'd think, who in their right mind would refuse? Well, shockingly, a lot of them do. So, take this one character, the big ghost. He runs into a man he used to know on Earth, a man who is a murderer, who is now a bright, solid spirit. And the ghost just can't stand it, the injustice of it all. He's so obsessed with his rights and his sense of being a decent man that he refuses a joy that would require him to accept mercy. He'd rather have his grievance than happiness. Then you've got this intellectual ghost, a bishop, who just loves asking questions more than getting answers. He's offered a trip to the land of eternal fact, where all his questions will finally be answered. But he prefers the endless, civilized debate. He literally says it's better to travel hopefully than to arrive. So he chooses the journey over the destination and heads back to the gray town to attend his Theological Society meeting. And maybe the most gut-wrenching story is about a mother named Pam. She's told she can become solid enough to see her son again if she'll just learn to desire God first. But her love for her son has become this twisted, possessive thing. It's an idol. She just demands to have him, screaming, "He is mine, mine, mine." And that very thing she calls love, that possessiveness, is the luggage she refuses to put down. It's what sends her back. Okay, so what in the world is going on here? All these people are choosing misery over joy? What are the rules of this universe? Well, thankfully, the narrator's guide, the spirit of the author, George Macdonald, finally shows up to lay it all out for him. Macdonald explains that the bus trip is something called a refrigerium, which is an old idea of a sort of holiday from hell. It's a real, genuine, merciful offer. Anyone who chooses to stay can stay. And for them, the gray town will have only been a purgatory they pass through. But for those who choose to go back, it will have been hell all along. The choice defines the journey. So here's the bottom line. No one is in hell who doesn't freely choose it. And that final choice actually redefines your entire past. And this leads to maybe the most famous line in the whole book. There are only two kinds of people in the end. Those who say to God, "Thy will be done," and those to whom God says, in the end, "Thy will be done." You get exactly what you insist on having. Now, you might think that's the big takeaway, but Lewis saves his most mind-bending twist for the very end. And it completely reframes our entire understanding of the relationship between good and evil. All through the book, we've been picturing this huge, sprawling, infinite gray town, a vast kingdom of misery. But the narrator's guide reveals that this is all just a complete illusion of perspective. And this just hits you like a ton of bricks. We learn that all of hell, with all its eons of misery and self-obsession, is actually smaller than a single atom in heaven, the real world. It's not a rival power. It's not a grand opposite. It's a shrunken, tiny, insignificant nothingness. As Lewis writes, all the anger and hatred in hell could be swallowed up by a single bird in heaven, and it wouldn't even notice. And so this whole fantastical dream voyage brings us right back here to this very real, very personal question. What is the luggage that we're carrying? What's the grievance, the pride, the pet theory, or the twisted love that we secretly prefer, even when we're being offered the possibility of absolute, solid, overwhelming joy?